Most conscientious vegetarians and vegans can readily identify food products that contain meat and/or dairy ingredients, but there are other lesser-known traps lurking in many processed foodstuffs, and they can be pretty disgusting when you discover their origins. Just consider these 5 examples. Gelatin, which can be found in the ingredients list of many foodstuffs, is made from the skin, bones and connective tissues of animals, typically pigs and cattle. Shellac, often described as confectioner's glaze or food additive number E904 on food labels, is used by many food manufacturers to give a sheen and a longer shelf life to sweets, candies as Americans would describe them, such as jelly beans. What you may not realize is that it is actually a processed and hardened resin secreted by a female bug, Caryolaca, that lives in India and Thailand. Red food dye is often made out of crushed beetles. If a food ingredient list includes the word carmine or natural red 4, this indicates a food colouring that's made from ground up boiled cochineal beetles. Foodstuffs that may contain this include ketchup, syrups, red velvet cake mixes, ice creams and yogurts. Some so-called vanilla-flavoured foodstuffs may use instead an ingredient called castoreum, which may be described as natural flavouring on the ingredient label. This is actually a secretion from the castor scent glands of beavers, located next to their bums. Although highly regarded for its supposed medical properties during ancient Roman times, during the 20th century, castoreum has become widely used in perfumes and as a food additive. Figs are flowers, not fruits, and they may have the remains of a dead wasp trapped inside. There are male and female figs. We only eat the latter. Like all flowers, figs need to be pollinated. But the fig pollination process is unique in that they have to be pollinated from the inside out rather than the outside in, which is how bees normally pollinate regular flowers. That's where an insect called the fig wasp enters the picture. The female wasps normally lay their larvae inside male figs, after which they themselves die while still inside. When the young wasps hatch, they burrow out, carrying the pollen with them and continuing the cycle. Sometimes, though, a wasp will miscalculate and end up inside a female fig, where they will again remain and ultimately die. Unfortunately for the wasp species, female figs aren't compatible with the wasp's reproductive cycle, so the story ends for it there and then. Except that inside the fig, an enzyme called phycin then breaks down the wasp's carcass into its constituent proteins. So when you eat a female fig, you're technically also consuming the remains of the errant wasp.